Right, so here's our, you know, we've got a Sprinter already. These swivel chairs are available for the Sprinters, for the dual seat, which we really like because it gives us that much more space, and certainly when we turn it, it gives you almost like a double settee kind of thing. So yeah, they're really easy. There's normally eight of these M12 bolts, but when we're not parked we only put 4 in. But you're supposed to put all 8 in if you're driving, because these are pull tested, which means they are safe in an accident, so all your seat belts and everything work. So these are from our R&J. I'll put a link down below. All the forums, if anybody asks about swivel seats, everyone seems to recommend the R&J, and I can see why. So you pop that in and it's here's literally a quick spin. Open that up again. I say we just put the 4 bolts back in. But these are really sturdy. Again, R&J. Not sponsored by R&J. They're just a great swivel seat. And you've even got the cable entry as well for the pre-tensioner for the seat belt. So they are super safe in an accident. The only thing to think about really is when you actually fit this swivel seat, it's actually a little bit higher than it would have been, about 2 inches higher. So somebody sort of sits on it like this. So we are thinking about getting some kind of step under there. She's there, you heard her then. There's some kind of step to just make it a little bit easier on long journeys. And you can actually see how wide open the cabin is now. So I forgot how much these were. I think they were about £300, but worth every penny. Makes such a difference to the van, massive difference to the van. So while I'm here, another reason we kept the swivel seat and didn't go for 2 captain's chairs was this big open space here is just perfect for all of our electrics. So in this side there are pretty much four items in there. On the bottom here we've got a Sterling 1600 watt pure sine wave inverter, and that's plenty for a van really. If you're fitting 3 kilowatt inverters in a van, maybe you should be just cutting down your consumption a little bit. But yeah, a 1600 watt inverter. There's a Victron smart charger. When we plugged into shore power, that charges our batteries as well. We're not plugged in that often, but it's there should we ever be. We've also got our, I can't remember what size that was now, our 20 amp solar charger. This is a smart charger, so you can see all the details on an app on the phone, what your solar's producing, how much current's going into your batteries, what state of charge it's in, absorption, flow or bulk charge, so that's great. And down here is also a shunt. Yeah, I said shunt. That is actually fed up to our, what are you giggling for? Shunt's not funny.
Carry on.
That's our shunt that goes up to our Victron battery monitor. So this basically, all of our loads go through that, so it knows whether the batteries are being charged, whether things are coming out, what the current is, what the voltages of the batteries are, all that sort of stuff. So great little addition really. And then under here there's a big foam, well, rubber mat thing that I cut just to protect the terminals, because you really wouldn't want spoons or anything dropping into here and shorting out those battery terminals. So yeah, an insulation on the top is a nice little addition. So we've got 2 110 amp maintenance free batteries in there. A lie, they're actually 130s. So 2 130s in there. They're the Hankook sealed lead acids. Nothing super special, but they are certainly big enough for what we want. So we've got 260 amp hours. A thing to point out that I see so many times is batteries that have feeds going off them and they're not fused. If you notice on mine, yeah, you have to cram them in, but everything has a fuse. So our 12 volts going up to our 12 volt distribution has a fuse. Our battery monitor shunt has a fuse. Our solar has a fuse. Our battery charger has a fuse, and also our inverter has a fuse. All rated correctly for the size cables. Important point, fuses are to protect the cable, not to protect the item. They stop the cable shorting out, catching fire. So when you spec your fuses correctly, that's what you need to think about. What's the maximum current that cable can carry? So yeah, there's our batteries, all safely protected, and you can't quite see. Give me the phone. We've also got our battery isolation here in the front as well, so we can turn off the inverter and turn off the 12 volts as well, so everything's isolated in the van. Sometimes do that if we're traveling, if we haven't got anything in the fridge. To you.
To me.
To you. Okay, so this is our nerve centre. Not really nerve centre, but anyway, all our 12 volts and our inverter control is set up here where you can get to it. The top box here is the remote for the Sterling inverter, the 600 watt inverter. Inverters take power, or current, yeah, same thing, not quite, but yes. They take power even when they're sat idle, so it's a good idea to turn these off when you're not using them. So rather than ferreting about under the seat, you can actually do everything from here. Below that is our battery monitor from Victron. So we can see that at the moment we've got, well, sort of 3, 4 amps, 5 amps, 6 amps all coming in from the solar, as the sun just came out for a fraction of a second. And you can see that that's going into the batteries because there's no minus figure there. If it's coming out, it's minus. But we can look through the state of our batteries. We can see we're 100% charged, and there's our battery voltage at the moment. So and like I say, current coming in, so that's off our solar. These are really handy to have. The percentage thing on the batteries can be a bit hit and miss, sort of pinch of salt kind of thing, but I look at the currents and the voltages as a bit more of a guide. Then this is our 12 volt distribution. Every circuit is individual, so we have these little breakers on each one. So if anything untoward happens, these breakers will protect the cable, not the appliance. And also there's a little switch on each one, so we can isolate each circuit. You can put the lights on these. I don't wire the lights in. There are LEDs sort of thing in here, but it's just a waste of power, and it would make the whole van too bright at night anyway with all these red lights on, and maybe attract the wrong attention. Who knows? Considering the news we saw. I'm going to leave that there. So that's all our 12 volt distribution. Also around the van there's 4 of these USBs, these multiple USBs. They work off 12 volt at the back, and then they convert it down to 5 volt for USB appliances. We've got 4 of these, so that's 8 different USBs. Everything's USB. Phone, cameras, that new gimbal we've just bought. Yeah, we've just bought a new gimbal, but I haven't figured out how it works yet, but that's playtime for later. Anyway, but yeah, that's all our distribution. Our lights are just on a normal light switch for all our LEDs. We've also got a roof fan that can suck and blow. We were missus, which is again great. The only thing to watch out for that is if you put it on extract, it will pull smoke down the chimney and out the vent, and you'll be. So we have to be careful how we use that if the log burner's on. But yeah, that's our power distribution. You can see there's 240 sockets around the van as well. There's one here, there's one down by the chair there for when we're sat working on the laptop and stuff, and there's another one here. On our electrics as well, Fanny Annie has a travel hairdryer.
I do.
You do? Travel straighteners, they're all 1000 watt each, so 4 amps, and also a travel iron, which she used this morning.
First time,
straight off the batteries, pulling about 70 amps at the batteries. It's normally about Yeah, it's normally about 4 times the 240 current. So pulling 70 amps at the batteries, but of course if it's not for ironing a whole pile of washing, but it's great if you just got one top, so you just wants to run over. I just put things on crinkly, and eventually, hopefully, the wrinkles. If I have it on for enough days, there's no wrinkles left in it. so that's that. I'll stick with. So I carry on.
Yeah.
You're shaking your head. You said yes, but shook your head.
To you.
Okay, so we've got I also got our Dometic sink here. I've just put that in there. She's washed up. I've washed up this morning, and I've straight away I put a dirty plate in there. About time. Our Dometic sink with our little tap and stuff there. We also have recently used. We just had some sourdough crumpets with oh, very nice. We've also got our domino hob.
LPG.
LPG, and with the 240 on as well, we've sort of kept that. The igniter works and that as well, so it just makes it really easy. Again, we've stuck a little fuse on there just to protect the cable into the domino hob as well. So yeah, all the comforts at home really. I think even on our 4-burner hob on the boat, we never used 4 burners, did we? So 2's fine. So because you've sat down, you can get up again. Here's our Dometic fridge. This is the CRX 500. Yeah, a few quid. 500 and something pounds for a small fridge, but they are 12 volt and they are compressor as well, so they are much more efficient than the evaporation type fridges by a massive amount, probably 4 or 5 times more efficient, because they run all the time. These are just like your fridge at home, that they come on for probably a third of the time. So oh, there's some beer in there. Yeah, so
That all?
that's about. There's some other things in there. Avocados. I don't know what this is.
Wine.
Grape juice. You can put a little freezer compartment in there that we have, and it does keep things frozen, and it will freeze things, so you can put ice cream and stuff like that in there in the summer. So this pulls about, let's say 2.5 to 3 amps. We normally have it on its middle setting, so that runs off our batteries perfectly well all of the time. So
Jobs are good.
Jobs are good. The only thing left really. Did you put your finger over there? Did you put your finger on the camera? You did. You're shaking your head, but you mean yes. So the only other thing we haven't sort of talked about here is our log burner. Really, you've got a few choices with heating in a van. Obviously, we can run the engine, but that's a bit inefficient. This little stove, it's a Cyclops stove from a company called Glastonbury Burners. I'll let you figure out where they're from. I'll put the link down below for them. It's their Cyclops, which is their smaller unit. I think there is one a little bit smaller. I think the little one's called a pipsqueak, but I could be wrong on that one. It's really easy to use. There's a nice little baffle plate here. We just close off when we drive, and you can see the flame through there, so that's quite nice. They are a 4-inch flue on these, which I thought was a bit big for a van. So we've got a good mate who's a TIG welder. This is all actually lorry exhaust pipe, stainless steel exhaust pipe. There's a company in Redditch that sell this sort of stuff. And what Dave did was reduce it down from 4-inch to 3-inch, just so it's not such a massive hole in the roof. So this is like a furnace, if you want it to be. It's so nice, and you've got instant heat. You can even cook on it if you wanted to, slow cooker if you kept it burning. We found that the little coffee logs are the best sort of fuel to use, because they burn a bit slower, a little less fierce, and for probably about 3 or 4 hours each. So yeah, that's great. That's what we use. Everything's protected by this aluminium checker plate, and there's an air gap behind here as well. So even though this gets super hot, all our woodwork is protected. This stove is also screwed down, because you imagine in an accident you wouldn't want that flying that way at any kind of speed. So that's great, really solid installation. Okay, so that's sort of the systems we have on the boat. Van.
Van.
Are we on the boat or on the van?
We're in the van.
We're in the van. We're not on. Okay, we're in the van. Just because I'm here, I've just trashed the bed, because I've just threw everything on it. But we've got all our storage compartments up here as well. I'm going to move these keys because I do my head in. So like all our lighter stuff's in here. But look how healthy we are. Look at this. Look how healthy we are. So yeah, all our light stuff's up here. We don't put any real heavy stuff up here. And these are like teas and coffees and that sort of stuff. Plenty of space, really. I think Fran's management system needs a bit of work, but
Why?
I'm just kidding, really. I'm just kidding. See, now I've got to put that in there. But yeah, we've got that there. CO detector, super important in a van. Carbon monoxide's a killer, we all know that, and it's a killer in tiny amounts as well. We have our smoke detector up here also, bib and braces. You never know, because we've got an open flame, and we've got gas cooking as well. I was going to fit a gas detector actually in the garage area as well, so just in case, you never know. So also, because I've trashed the bed with new toys, well, not trashed it, and a new big 4 terabyte external hard drive for the laptop, because I've run out of space already. So so yeah, I'll look at them a bit later. Yeah, but overhead we have all our storage lockers. All our clothes are in here, which seems to work okay. We've got no hanging space, but most things fold up anyway. When you're in the van, you're not really, I was going to say going out in dresses, but I don't go out in dresses very often.
Not recently.
Not recently. So we don't really have hanging space, but all our clothes are in here, and it's almost a 50-50 share, almost.
Yeah, we've got 2 each.
We've got 2 each. Yeah, I'm sure some of your stuff's migrated into mine.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying.
Prove it.
I can't prove it.
No, you know.
I can't prove it. So all our storage space is up here. Also, a few other things. There's a security camera up there as well. This is one of the little Neos cameras. I'll put the link down below as well. They're fantastic because we've got Wi-Fi in the van. Is your arm aching?
Yeah.
Because we've got Wi-Fi in the van, that's permanently connected. So if there's any movement in the van, it will instantly start to record that movement and zap that straight to my phone. So if we're off out touring in the van somewhere, that's going to keep an eye on the van for us, and I'm instantly going to get an alert if anything untoward happens. Also squirreled away in the van is a tracker. It's a live wire tracker. I was trying to think of that yesterday. I'll put the link below. That's really good. A little magnetic tracker. It's fully powered, and even if people cut the power, it's going to stay active for another month or 2, even on the internal battery. So we've got a tracker. If the van moves, I'll get an instant alert. I think when you're living in a van, you want to know where your home is. Do you agree?
I do.
She agrees. Great. So the only other thing we haven't talked about really is the car seat.
The
loo. So it's actually for sort of emergencies only, really.
It's behind the square
It's
window.
behind the square door. It's a little porta potty. Do you want to demonstrate that? No. It's just for number 1s, not number 2s. Not number 2s. It's just we had this joke yesterday. You have to go outside for number 2s, but that doesn't mean digging a hole and having a put under the bush. It just means going and finding somewhere else.
A ferret about.
Huh?
A ferret about.
A ferret about? No, supermarkets, whatever the need might be when you're out travelling. We've done that before, haven't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got, we look at what we've got. We were talking last night about it's really easy and stuff. If you think about the system you have, even this little table here that we've got, and for change, there's coffee on it.
Yeah.
It is only 1:20 on a Saturday. This little table, it's got the single leg on it that just fits in, so this can come out. We've tended to leave this up most of the time, just because it's easy. We can walk around it, and it affects our yoga and our stuff, doesn't it? We don't do yoga. Who am I kidding?
Does he look like somebody who does yoga?
I have trouble even sitting there. What was that for? So yeah,
My flexible friend.
Completely inflexible friend. Also, like I said, I didn't say, but we've tried and kept our system really simple. There's no great high tech anywhere really. It's quite simple, even down to the. I don't know whether the cameraman can get to this. Even our water under the sink is there's one fresh water and there's one wastewater. So normally, because you're drinking tea and coffees and stuff, it's two fresh waters, and then you'd have to empty the wastewater. And we put some disinfectant or something in there just to stop any untoward smells and stuff. But again, there's just a pump in there. It's really easy. I didn't want to mess about with like underslung tanks that could freeze and all that sort of stuff. It's just a pain in the backside. Make it simple. It's like luxury camping in some ways, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just simple. And they're blue jobs as well.
Simples.
Blue jobs. Emptying the water, filling the water up, they're blue jobs. So, yeah, I'm stealing the camera. Here we go. So if my fat finger's not over the camera. So that's a quick one.
Hi.
It's all with a good pear shape now. I hope you've recorded that properly.
I don't know until we play back.
Yeah, that was there's a fire extinguisher there, I've just noticed as well. Always put a fire extinguisher in your van, a powder extinguisher in your van.
Especially when Martin's cooking. He likes to smoke the place out.
I know somebody that's worse than me at cooking.
Not me.
It's not. I didn't say it was you, paranoid. But yeah, there's a fire extinguisher there as well. I guess one other thing I didn't say was, you notice our bed area got covered in toys at the moment. Not that kind of toy. Moving on. Our bed is really high, and it's. I'm too old to sleep on a little bit of foam on the floor now, so it's actually a full depth mattress. It's an orthopedic mattress. Oh, yeah, we were just saying about the bed as well. It is quite high, but that gives us all the garage space inside for our mountain bikes.
Mountain bikes?
Our mountain bikes are in there.
I ain't got a mountain bike.
You have got a mountain bike.
Have I?
Yes, and a collapsible bike. You don't know what you've got. But also things like deck chairs are in there, but the barbecues, tools for the van, tyre inflator and all that sort of stuff, jump leads and things. So anything you might need
is under.
Goes
in
under.
The garage.
Is in the garage.
Garage.
So yeah, that's why that's why the bed's that high. And also, obviously you can put stuff underneath it and a bit more storage. So that's us. That's a quick van tour, sort of tour. So hopefully, you learnt a little bit. Maybe had an idea of what layout you might want. We find this layout really spacious. It's only a medium wheelbase Sprinter, which is sort of better in the way of parking and like those little lanes in Cornwall and things. We had a long wheelbase before. Now, more room for sure, but we sort of prefer this because we can almost park it anywhere. So happy days. So we're not saying that.
Size matters.
No, we're not. That's Terry. That is. Terry started that. Anyway, so there's our quick van tour. We've offered on long enough. Hope you find that sort of interesting. Give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe. All that. Send us your money. No. And there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.